Did Tom gets them next, right?
Yep.
All these checks.
Hope you brought your stamp.
I'll just.
Okay.
Son of a. There's internet plugs on over here, or did we get rid of all of them? Oh. That's just. This new one doesn't even have one of those, does it? You son of a bitch. I got a new Surface for work. And it doesn't even have a USB plug. That's something. Is there a specific Wi-Fi that I should be using? The office guest.
Guest. And then I think it's guest at EHT4 and a lowercase u. Capital G for guest.
Bummer this rain came in this afternoon here, huh? All kinds of baseball and softball got canceled.
Did it?
Yep. Second game that's got canceled for the girls so far. Out of 4 games. And it would have been nice. It was supposed to be right here too. So I was gonna be there for an hour and then I would have walked over to the meeting.
Hey, Dave. Good, how are you?
Yeah, it's on me. It's you.
Mr. Bennett, sir.
How are you? Good to see you.
I get 2 phone calls all day until now.
Is your email at East Hempfield or is it at the Comcast?
You can do either. Comcast is,
That's what you want?
DA Bennett1 at Comcast.net.
You're gonna have a quorum?
I didn't see anybody say they weren't coming.
Ryan was the only one that called. You have these checks. This check for employee expenses, is that for this month,
That's for the month of March.
March? Past month, okay.
Breakdown if you want me to show that I can. Where it's, you know, each payroll, what the actual. That is for each item and the monthly insurance.
We'll catch you at the end. We'll audit you at the end of the year.
Good evening.
They're all.
Yes, you are. Hey, Steve, how are you? Well, we're legal now.
Sorry?
We're legal.
We are legal now.
Like to provide a little bit of drama.
Hmm?
Like to provide a little bit of drama.
Since I have you here, do you recollect what the rank bill was for? 15,000?
But I will grab it quickly.
Yeah, I sort of have an interest in that.
No.
Thank you very much.
Like another 5 or?
Now, we're gonna get going here. Okay, we're gonna bring to order what's the date today?
26.
The April 26th meeting of the Hempfield, East Hempfield Recreation Authority. Calling this meeting to order. So let's just, I note that we have 3 members missing this evening. Mr. Brubaker, Mr. O'Brien, and Mr. Lundy. That said, do we have anything from the lease negotiation committee? First order of business, as it pertains to the blue collar lease. Anything new to report?
The only thing that I know of there, I know Mike has been talking with them. Obviously the expansion is put on hold. And on top of that, I think they're contemplating if they are going to even do something that big or extravagant or whatnot, but I can't speak to any more than that I know, because I have not talked to
Okay,
them.
so there's been nothing new, and I'm more interested in just the financial side of it. There's been no talks or discussions. And sounds to me like there's going to be some adjustments to the square footage of the deck, so I'm sure the numbers will change. So we'll just wait to hear from the committee on that. Parking lot expansion. Appears that there was a meeting held with staff, O'Brien and engineer.
Yes, Cindy had an update. Cindy had left an update on that. She said after the meeting, Perry Madonna, the Public Works Director, reached out to CM High. They do our traffic light maintenance, and they will remove the poles and the anchors for no charge in exchange for the materials. Public Works will be renting a boom truck for a few days, approximately about $2,000, to get the nets off the poles, and this will be done by the time of the meeting. It was sometime the week of the 17th. I do
Yeah.
not know if that has been completely completed.
When we were there Wednesday for the, with Verizon, they were tearing it down,
Yeah.
so.
And
So
it's, she
it's
said
done?
that CM High will come in when they have some time in their schedule and get the actual poles removed.
Awesome, way to go. Awesome. All right, anything else?
The only other note that Cindy had was that DMA is working with Perry on some minor storm management plans that are pretty simple, but will need to be approved by the Board of Supervisors. So there is going to be some stormwater negotiate plans that are going to be coming through probably with the next meeting.
And DMA is handling that for us, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. Rezoning. We have a rezoning ordinance, the draft ordinance before us this evening. I'd ask that everyone take a look at it. You have any questions or comments? But I don't think this is something that we want to move this evening. I'd feel more comfortable if we had a broader attendance of the board members. Not that I think that we're going to really change anything, but long story short is we're not in any big hurry on this unless we have somebody that's interested in the property now. So I'd like to maybe just table this until the next meeting, just to our approval until the next meeting.
I'm in concurrence with that.
Okay.
I agree.
Dan, you good too?
I'm good with that, yes.
All right, sounds good. All right, let's let that sit until the next meeting. Moving on to the Verizon cell tower. Anything new on that front?
So, yeah, Steve, Mike and myself met with Verizon, I guess their contractor. There was another Verizon or NGR or something, rep there. So we walked the site, looked at everything. They said they normally takes them about 2 weeks or so at least to get back drawings, let's say. But they're going to work on that. I think the only thing that would come into question would be the right of way and where that attaches to Nisley Road. Originally, I think we had talked about coming in where that one house was demolished. But now you have, guess what is it, a community garden in there where we already kind of created a driveway, and that actually puts us even closer to the site if we can continue on that. I guess it just depends on what we want to do, right? I mean,
Well, if it would be better to just utilize the driveway that's there, if that's feasible. A lot of it will depend on how much access they need. Obviously, there, the gardens will only be there in the summertime, so they'll have complete access. They won't really be bothering anyone for the rest of the year. So, I'd suggest we get back to them and see if they can utilize the new driveway that we put in to get to wherever it is the site is going to be. And if not, we'll probably build another driveway, but
Yeah, so they were gonna look at that and think they were gonna put pen to paper and kind of give us similar proposal as Liberty Tower had done in the past. Probably more detailed as far as where they needed to come in or what would be probably cost effective, more than likely.
Okay.
I think they had talked about going out there to just fly a balloon just to make
Yep.
sure that they could have enough distance or height, whatever you want to call it. So they're working on all that stuff. I just forwarded everybody the initial land lease agreement. I've only went through a little bit of it, but as far as, I don't know how far you want to get into this, but the initial proposal, I guess you could call it, is just from Verizon utilizing the tower. So at this point, or I guess since Liberty Tower's proposal, you have to have a carrier willing to occupy the pole. You can't just build the poles anymore. So Verizon is the catalyst here, pushing for this pole. And they're not guaranteeing that they would cohabitate with anybody else, but that's not off the table. It's just a matter of them approaching Verizon to say, can we? Right. But at this point, Verizon's saying we will do it. The rental that they're proposing right off the bat is $22,500 a year, which is roughly $1,875 a month. I know, I thought I saw in here, but maybe it was just in email stuff that going back and forth. What they were saying is rent is normally around, like if they would cohabitate, rent would be roughly around $2,000 per provider. And we would get 25% of that. So we get $500 a month for every additional provider.
okay, well,
So it's a good start.
yeah.
Assuming that what they come back with and we can make work. One of the questions that we did have was, so the property line runs where that community garden comes in, it runs all the way down. So there is split plots. So I don't know do we have authority on those plots up there, like kind of where the community garden is? Because we didn't, obviously,
Yeah, we established the community garden space.
the Board of Supervisors.
The board did, yes.
Right. So, I guess we would have to work hand in hand, but I guess their question was, how far off of that property line do we have to set the tower to not interfere with whatever future development, right? Or use of that land, and how the right of way would work crossing over multiple deeded properties.
I'm gonna suggest that you let them know that they should tell us what would be the optimal for them.
I think that's what they're going to do, but
Okay.
those are questions that they presented and we just said, hey, we'll bring it to
Yeah.
our board meeting. Cause that the property line runs right there, but what they're saying is if there's not an easement or a setback, or depending on what that is, could change how close they can put that tower or, or further away from the golf course, however you look at it. Cause there's plenty of space there. They need less space than what Liberty Tower needed. Really? Yeah, I think Liberty wanted 100 feet. They only need 50 feet.
50 feet.
Well,
Did they say how tall the tower would be?
he said 161.
They kept talking 150, but then when we began going down lower and lower in the grade, you're gonna have to make it a taller.
The closer we go to the golf course, the lower the land gets. So the taller the tower would be, but we're only talking a few feet. it's not a drastic
Like
hill,
one
but,
fifty to 170. Okay.
but it would be under the 180 something that they would have to get. What did he say? FAA approval and different stuff. So it would still be well under that. But that's what they were going to be working on, but I mean, assuming,
I would think we're gonna have drawings in time to circulate,
for next meeting.
or certainly with two and a half weeks to go before the meeting.
And then they kind of said, like, once we get past that initial stage, I mean, they wouldn't even be able to break ground till next year. Just with, I think, everything else that they have to get in line. I'm going. But once we would establish, okay, this is where it goes. Then they said they would fly another balloon and actually take pictures so you can see the sight line of the top of the tower. Basically, so we would have, we'd have a good panoramic picture of where it can be seen from. An idea of what they're going to do as well. I think the gate around it would be locked, so
Right.
they'd only have access to that. I don't know if they would want to lock the right of way down to it, put a gate up, whatever, but
Okay.
it all seemed good. I mean, Verizon seemed very, very interested, so it's a plus, and the dollars and cents so far are still better than what Liberty offered off the bat, so if we can get other people onto it.
Do we need, at some point, we're gonna have Frank review this, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was just looking at it. There's a lot of things in here that I don't like, but yeah, Frank would look at it and just, because they're allowing themselves to be able to lease it by just telling us, or sublease it. I don't know if that's just meaning cohabitate, or if they leased it to AT&T then and got rid of all, and got out of there, but yeah, we would need to clean it up with Frank and see what they say.
Is Frank in the loop yet?
I think he was on the initial, because they've worked with Frank before.
Right.
I had sent, when I first got this, I sent it to Cindy, so I don't know if she forwarded it to Frank yet or not. She obviously didn't forward it to you guys, so I just flipped it to you so you guys can look at it.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that's from what he was telling me, that's kind of like their standard that they use, just, changing addresses and stuff, but we'll have to definitely fix some of it just because of our situation.
Okay, good. Well, it sounds like we're making good progress there.
Yeah, it's a start, and I don't want to say that they're not in really a rush, except for I think certain things, obviously, they can't go and approach and do until they have approval, but we're still within a window that we're not holding them up yet.
Okay, well, thank you. See if I can get this next. Anything on there? Catch, we have the cash requirements. Checks going out.
This is going to be how you're going to be receiving the monthly invoices that come in. That would be the rec authority's responsibility to pay. I know Tom is pretty familiar with this report, but this is for the rest of you. This is exactly what it's going to be every month. So the total then for the month of March for expenses was just about 82,000. I don't know if anybody has any questions on us.
And they were the checks that we signed tonight.
Yep.
$82,000, okay. All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion to accept the cash requirement report this evening from our finance director.
I'll second.
Okay, you'll make the motion.
I'll make the motion.
Steve will make the motion.
Sorry.
Dan,
I said he was making it.
second.
You'll
All
second
those
the
in
motion.
favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes 4-0. And then,
The next item is the budget tax report, which is the other report that you'll be getting every month, and that shows the expenses and the revenues for each month. This one does show in March, which is kind of the beginning of the season, so it's still pretty early. We had revenue of about just over 51,000. But the expenses are pretty low because we were still in the process of moving everything into the rec authority's hands. Some of it did get paid out of the golf fund. So next month you will see then that 82,000 that is being paid. Well, those are all April expenses. So that will then show up on that report. And just as a side note, I did want to bring up one issue that, not really issue, just a note that when Joe orders a lot of his chemicals, he does so late in the year or early in the year in order to lock in some prices and get that discount. Those are due the beginning of June. So next month, the cash requirements is going to show higher expenses because Fisher and Sons, where he orders a lot of his chemicals for, those are all going to show up in the May report so that we can get them paid by June when they are due. And just the Fisher and Sons with the chemicals is a little over 60,000, I believe. So just as a side note that is going to be coming.
And I'm trying to get this budget to actual. So January and February months are not on this report.
They are not on there at all because we didn't actually start everything with the rec authority until the 1st of March.
Okay. And our cash on hand,
Right now, we are a little limited, but I do still have funds in the golf fund of the township, the township's golf fund that are gonna be moved over.
okay,
So right now, there's not a lot, and plus, we're starting to get into the higher volume
Yep,
season,
yep.
so, that's gonna definitely help that situation going forward.
so we don't want to be borrowing from dad yet.
Right. And we're sitting well, so that shouldn't be an issue.
All right, good. Do
That draw again.
I hear a motion to accept the budget report this evening from our finance director?
Second.
I'll make a motion to accept the budget report.
I'll
Is there a
second.
second? Okay. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Good evening, Mr. Brubaker.
Hey, Doug.
All right. Continuing on to the golf report. Reports provided.
On Zoom, I don't know if he wants to speak and.
Jim, you out there? I don't see you on the board.
Yeah, I'm out here.
Okay, all right. Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, another good month. April, we're off to a great start here. March was a little above last year. April, we're tracking quite above last year, so the money's definitely coming in. The cart turnaround we did complete. Perry and his guys came over. They paved the turnaround, so it looks much better than it did. I sent Cindy a picture, but I'm not sure if she was able to attach it for this meeting. But we can get it on there for the next one. And the backdrop is working so far, no complaints. Like I said, the turnaround's helping out big time. And the team here is doing an awesome job with the increased rounds coming through. And we're looking forward to a busy summer.
Awesome. I did note, and I apologize, but I can't get this report open on this computer, but thinking back to the township meeting, I took a look at the golf report and I did notice that there was a substantial drop off on, I believe it was memberships.
Yeah, memberships, it's just timing. It's when guys, we had a bunch sign up the month before, and we've had quite a few that get back from down south. So they've signed up this month. So you'll see a uptick in that for April.
So enough to offset the decline in,
Yeah, we're fine. We're actually almost 25 memberships more this year than we had last year.
Awesome. Okay, good. Do we provide any discounts to the high school golfers?
We have a junior rate that we do provide.
Okay, and that would be to any young,
Anyone under 18.
anyone under 18?
Yep.
Good. Any questions for Jim? From the rest of the
Yes,
board?
sir.
Jim, I guess my only question would be, how is the snack stand from Blue Collar's end working out?
So far, so good. They've opened it up, expanded hours, and that's been going well, so we appreciate that for sure. Hopefully it's working out for them.
Is that open on Mondays?
Yes.
Oh, good. But the restaurant's not.
No, the restaurant's still closed on Mondays.
Okay, but the snack bar is.
Yeah,
Open.
typically they're running about 10 to 2:30, depending on the amount of play we have, so we let them know if the afternoon's gonna be busy or not, and then they've been staying a little later, so that's been helping out.
Good. That's good to know. Glad to see they're back up operating.
Yeah, no one's here complaining, so.
Okay, sounds good. Anything else from the board? Anyone on the board members?
Thanks, Jim.
You're welcome.
Okay, thanks, Jim. All right, moving down to, we have any new business this evening? Seeing no new business,
Nothing that I can think of.
okay. Seeing no new business, we'll move on to minutes of previous meetings. March the 22nd. Has everyone had a chance to take a look?
I'll move the adoption of the minutes.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Second from Mr. Brubaker. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna have to abstain because I was
Aye.
not here.
I can't vote because I wasn't here.
No.
That's
Then
unanimous.
we're gonna have to hold that item over until approval of the minutes for that week or that last month. We'll hold that
Mr.
over.
Chairman,
to-
you could go ahead and approve them. They don't
can't.
have to abstain.
No? Okay.
No.
She said that even though we weren't here, we can approve them?
Sure, yeah, the three of us that were here.
The three of us are here, still majority of the five that are here.
Oh, that's right, of the five who are here.
Four who were
Right.
here last month and voted yes.
All right, thank you for
Yeah, Doug
straightening us out on that.
Doug hadn't walked in, that could be difficult.
So-
on vacation, go on vacation.
So
I'm bored.
I was gonna say, where'd you come from?
I've been around.
All right, it's good to hear your voice. All right, with that, we'll approve the minutes of our last meeting, 3-0. All right. With that, we'll move on to public comment. We have any public comment, or is there anyone else out there that we don't know about who would like to comment on this evening's meeting?
Nothing on Zoom.
Okay, hearing none and seeing none, we'll adjourn our meeting at 7:30. Thank you.
You run a good meeting. Efficient. You run a good meeting, very efficient. So like I got here 10 minutes ago and we're done.
I'm sorry. I
No,
should,
you're good.
I should have let somebody know I was stuck in a meeting that ran long.
Were you? You doing good? You doing well?
Just half the speed of what I used to be.
Aren't we all? Tell me about it.
How about it? Yeah. I should, my personal phone's busted. I should probably get your phone number and Jeannie,
Gina.
Gina. That way I have it. It wouldn't have done me any good to text Cindy since I knew. she never got her.
She'd have gotten word to us though. She's inventive.
I didn't want to interrupt her in Montana 2 time zones away.
Yeah.
Really, all you missed, Doug, was we talked a little bit about the cell tower and they're gonna have drawings.
Yeah, we
for
can
us.
fill you in on that.
Well, what's
we're
what's
gonna
the
have-
latest with that? Cause we're in the process, we're gonna put ours in the market and sell it. Dad's 80, what's he need that for? And I don't wanna be stuck with disposing of it someday.